If you're an originator and you're tired of feeling lost, scared, burnt out, I have good news for you. In today's episode, I'm going to walk you through the 12 steps that I have proven you need to take in order to either launch your career, bounce back after a couple bad years, or even break through that plateau. Check this out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus, you are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen. And joining me from the TLOP team, I have my hostess with the mostest, Laura Zuluaga, and our producer extraordinaire, Karina Mojica. What's going on, ladies?
You got it right.
I got it
proud
right
of you.
For the first time.
First time in all these years of friendship. You said my name fully right.
Yeah, well, it's way easier calling you Zulu. I mean, I say that every single time, but I say it at home sometimes when I can't sleep. I'm
You
like,
practice?
Okay, it's Zuluaga, Zuluaga. And I'm like, okay, I got this.
Your family probably thinks you're losing it.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever done a show where it's like just me and the ladies. I kind of like this one, right? I'm outnumbered. Y'all can pick on me, give me shit.
I like it.
And the episode is going to be fire for all of our mortgage clients, but we have to get warmed up a little bit. Laura, you were just out at the Super Bowl. Tell us about it.
Rough weekend.
Oh, rough weekend.
Yeah,
What makes that so
Patriots. Let me take that back. I'm grateful that we made it that far. Young team. We'll be back. For all the haters, we will be back. But it just hurts seeing your team go out there and like three and out, and we could not get the ball moving. And I wasn't there for the show. I wasn't there for the halftime show or for the pretty fireworks or whatnot. I was there to watch football, so it was painful.
Oh, how was the show though? I mean, it's Bad Bunny.
I mean, it was fire.
It was fire.
It was
amazing.
fun. He set up the little house, the casita, right in front of us. We happened to be on that end zone, so it was right in front of us. Dancing, singing along. We had a great time. It helped me, pull my morale up a little bit after that first half.
It looked good on TV. Did you watch the whole game, Karina, or just the halftime show?
No, I watched most of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And did you find that the halftime show was fire?
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
All
Bad
right.
Bunny is my favorite artist of all time.
Oh well, so we're 3 for 3 now.
Yeah, we're
I thought
thriving.
I thought it was fire, and I also appreciate for all of us Anglos out there that the next day so many people did a version of it in English, so I could actually listen
And understand.
to the lyrics. Yeah, but I was turned on to Bad Bunny. You don't know this, Karina. I was turned on to Bad Bunny because I trained with a bunch of Colombians and a couple Puerto Ricans, and I'm talking like years ago, 3-4 years ago.
Before he was even mainstream.
Before he was mainstream, I remember being in the studio. Laura was there. There used to be like 12, 15 of us that would get together Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we usually were like cycling, and we were playing music, and then Bad Bunny would come on, and they all were like just jamming out, and I was like, wow, I have no idea what this guy is saying.
Were you
up
a
so
little
much.
jealous, like when we would all start just vibing?
No, because honestly, I like some of his songs, but I don't like all of his songs.
Okay, that's
right?
fair.
And I was more jealous that, like, I wasn't jealous. I was just like, okay, this guy must be like someone good because they're all vibing, they're all into it.
Yeah, I think we put on a lot of our English-speaking friends to Bad Bunny.
You did. No, 100%.
Proud of that.
Yeah, I remember doing a social media post 2 years ago. Shout out to Liz Padilla, by the way. So Liz Padilla is an originator in Oklahoma, and I used a Bad Bunny song in my post, and she literally like DM'd me. She goes, seriously, Bad Bunny? And I'm like, hell yeah, of course Bad Bunny. Like,
You're like, I'm
what-
cultured.
Yeah, like what 45-year-old white guy in America is not jamming out to Bad Bunny in, by the way, 2024, right? Or 2023.
No,
Laura,
it was a good time, and he actually, I think a lot of the show was more for the TV viewers though, because we went back to the hotel and watched it, and we're like, oh, we didn't see that, see that.
Yeah,
so
for
that was
sure.
cool too.
Yeah, I would guess it probably is like most shows like that are better on TV than it was live.
Yeah.
And then live, I'd worry about the audio quality because you're not at a concert, you're at a football game, so it's not like they did like this massive audio check.
Yeah, it's just whatever they can set up, and it's crazy. The setup, I think, was actually one of the coolest things, especially with all the bushes he brought on and everything, and building a little house, all the stages.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
So let's do this. We're going to go ahead and jump into today's episode. Something I do want to talk to you about, Laura, after we come back from our break, is you are planning the TLOP cruise. We have more details coming out about the TLOP cruise every single week. We've already sold 3 of the 7 sponsorships. So companies out there, if you're looking to sponsor one of the coolest experiences in the mortgage industry for 2026. Whether you're an appraisal management company, you're an MI company, maybe you're a non-QM lender, like we are open to having 5 more sponsors, but we have sold 3 of our sponsorships. Go ahead and reach out to me on LinkedIn, first name Dustin, last name Owen, or just keep on following the show and go into our website because we're going to be posting more information as it is available. But before we talk about the actual episode for today, we're going to take a break, and then maybe we'll talk about the cruise at the end of the podcast. And I do want to pick your brain, Laura, about what's going on in Mexico as it pertains to travel, if we have time. But first, a word from today's show sponsor. Y'all, something big is happening at Lower Mortgage. And if you're paying attention to this industry, you've probably noticed. In just the last month alone, Lower has added some serious horsepower. We're talking top producers representing over $350 million in volume. These aren't rookies kicking tires. These are heavy hitters who've done their homework and made the move. That should tell you something. On top of that, Lower just acquired Movoto, a top 5 real estate portal with over 150 visitors just last year. Before that, they brought in Neat Labs, and now they're launching Lower OS, a next-gen mortgage platform that's cutting loan delivery times down to 10 days. This isn't a company standing still. Lower doubled their volume last year, and they're projecting another 40 to 50% growth this year. The best in the business are taking notice, and they're voting with their feet. Here's the reality. The companies that are going to win in this market are the ones investing in technology, building real infrastructure, and competing at scale. Lower is doing all of that. They're going head to head with the Rockets of the world, and they're built for originators, not against them. If you're a producer who wants to be a part of something that's actually going somewhere, not just surviving, but growing, this is the moment. Lower Mortgage, the momentum is real. All right, so we're back. So Laura, I'm gonna need your help today. So I'm going to walk mortgage loan originators, which you're not.
No, zero.
None at all. None at all. Like, have you even applied for a home loan?
Never.
Never.
No, because all the properties we own are cash purchases, so I've never gone through a mortgage process.
Okay. That is so like South American of you to be like, everything we own in cash. I'm like, yeah.
I don't have a bank account. I'm just kidding.
There's things called leverage. You should learn it. No, I'm joking.
No, we do. We do want to start getting into the commercial side of things a little bit more.
And that'll require
and that
some
will
leverage.
require some leverage.
Okay.
So.
But no, so I have this course that I've been teaching for the past, I tell people 3 years. But really and truly, it's been 3 years that I've been doing it for originators outside of my organization. I honestly probably started doing this 15 years ago. Because 15 years ago, I started hiring rookie originators off the street, and I started grooming them and teaching them the industry from the ground floor up. What I then took is that 15 years of experience, and then I created a course based on the things that worked really well, and I now offer that to the mortgage industry. So for the past 3 years, we've graduated at least 3, if not 4 dozen originators. Now, back then, I was always doing it on the side. I wasn't doing it full time. It wasn't
your main thing.
Yeah, it wasn't my main thing. My main thing was running a $1 billion division for a mortgage company. So anything I did outside of that was usually done either weekends, lunch hours, or first thing in the morning. But I wanted to make content out of it because not everyone is going to spend the money to go through this boot camp. Now, if you do, oh God, here's what I'll tell you. Ben in Boston's a $52 million originator. When I met Ben, the dude was 6 months into his career and had never closed a loan. Amanda in Alaska, maybe she had closed 2 loans by the time I met her. Last year, she funded $42 million.
Sounds
right?
like it takes you to the next level.
Oh, next level. Like that puts people in the top 1%. Like that, if you're doing that type of volume, you're the top 1%. So you're talking about men and women making $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a year as professional mortgage brokers and loan originators. We have guys like Adam and Nick who, when I met them, were getting started as loan originators. Now they both run their own branches. Lindsay went from like 12 million a year to like 19 million a year. She had her best month ever while in the program. She did over 3 million in 1 month.
That's all amazing.
Sarah increased her income 50%. Yeah. So Men and women throughout the country have an opportunity to invest, and they can be a part of these boot camps. Companies, right now I'm talking to 3 companies who want me to put 30 or 40 of their originators through this
the
boot
whole
camp.
program.
Yeah. But today we're going to talk about what the program not is. Like, that was my biggest sales pitch I'll probably give. No, I'm going to actually give you the secrets of what I teach and why it's important. Right?
Educate me.
Yeah,
Educate
Laura,
me.
Yeah, so Laura is someone who has her MBA. She has 10 plus years experience. She runs her own business. But if you ever wanted to make a career change, these are the 12 steps I'm going to walk you through.
You might tempt me with a good time.
I may tempt you. I may tempt you with a good time. Same thing goes for you, Karina, right? If you ever decided that, being behind a camera and producing content like this is not your jam, and you want to go 100% commission and jump into sales, which I wouldn't.
Sounds so fun.
I would not peg you as that person. Laura, 100%. I can convince Laura to become a mortgage broker or a loan officer. I don't think I'm convincing you to ever do anything that is that entrepreneurial, at least not where you sit right now in life. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to assign you the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. Like, that's step 1, because step 1 is all about creating good habits. So our first call together is really talking about the importance of habit formation. By the way, have you read that book?
I have not. I just added that to my list.
It is a must read for anybody. So, like, when you join one of our boot camps, you get a welcome package from us. In that welcome package, is the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, because throughout our 16 weeks together, I am constantly referencing that book. So I need the students reading the book as part of their ongoing homework assignments. So that's normally like our first call is a kickoff call, and we're talking about the power of good habits. Something that I make every student do, and by the way, you can do this on your own. That's why we're sharing it today. I make them track their time for 30 consecutive days.
Like time blocks?
No, well, time blocking, yes. I want them from when they wake up to when they go to bed, every 30 minutes, what did you do in that 30-minute increment?
That will open your eyes to, especially nowadays with social media and distractions and just everything else about how much time we waste.
100%. So time's that one commodity that you can't get back, right? Money, you can lose a bunch of money. You can go make a bunch of money. Then you can lose it again and go make it back even tenfold. You're never going to make your time back. And most of us think we know where we spend our time. I'm like, you don't know until you actually write it down. Mm-hmm. Now, there's science behind it. If you just track things, you're going to be more consistent. If you track things, you're going to be more intentional. But I tell people, and you and I do this with our triathlon training, like, if we didn't track it, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
We have
Turn
a friend.
on your watch. Yeah, we have a friend who, if the watch has any kind of malfunction and it doesn't track mileage or time, she will literally go back and do it or finish it out until it does. Because
she will do the same workout all over again if it didn't
track.
Yep. So there's a saying, if you don't track it, it never happened. I'll tell people, like, you want to be healthier? I dare you to track everything you put in your mouth. Mm-hmm. You want to be more financially fit? No, I think that's
a proven track record of, like, holding yourself accountable, essentially, is what it does.
Yes, but you want to be more financially fit? I double dog dare you to spend to write down everything you spend money on for 30 days. So the first things that we talk about in this boot camp, the first thing anyone would have to do if they're trying to launch their career, level up, break through a barrier, is I want them to start studying the habit formation formula, right? You do so by studying what James Clear teaches in Atomic Habits, and I want you to track your time for 30 days. I care less about where you've been. I care most about where you're going, right? That's what matters most, but we don't know where to go if we don't know where we are. And me tracking my time is a good way for me to recognize, I went to the office for 9 hours yesterday.
But what did I do?
I worked 4 of those 9, right? I worked 4 of them.
And do your students that have already been in the program, in the boot camp, do they, what's that first, like, oh my God, I just tracked the last 3 days and I waste so much time, or, is it an eye-opener experience?
Here's a common consistent, especially with 100% commission salespeople. They rarely start their day at a decent hour. It's typically they're not starting until 9:30 or after. Right? They may have gotten up at 7, but by the time they started their workday, it was probably 9:30. And I'd tell them you start your workday by 8:30 at the latest. And there is a lot of personal time being done during the work week. A lot. Right? And I get it. I've have children, I have a spouse, I have parents, I have in-laws. And I was a little bit fortunate. I had a spouse who stayed home and ran the household and made the kids her priority, so I didn't have to. However, I would tell people, what if you're a school teacher? What if you were a nurse? What if you're an engineer?
Yeah, you don't have all that free time during the day.
Yeah, you don't have that flexibility. But so many times, because we're 100% commission, we act as if we're better than that nurse or that school teacher.
That was a big adaptation for me when I went from being a 9-to-5 employee to running my own business. Time blocking helped me because it, like you said, it's so easy. You look up, it's 11 a.m. and you're like, what have I done today?
Yeah. Yep.
And it's just because you haven't had, that flexibility all the years prior to wake up and walk your dog a little longer, take a little longer having your coffee or take a longer shower. But it's like if you keep that urgency of I have to abide by my schedule, I mean, it's your own company. It's your own commissions. It's your own time.
Correct. It's why work from home works so terribly for most people. Right? They want to make themselves believe and their employer believe, oh, no, it works for me. But multitasking is a farce. You don't multitask. Our brains have the ability to jump within milliseconds from thought to thought. But every time you jump to a new thought, you're ignoring whatever it was that you were once working on. So the minute you get up to go check on the Amazon package because you're working from home, right, it's going to take you 15 more minutes to get re-engaged in whatever it was that you were doing during your work activity, right? You stop what you're doing to go up to the bus stop to grab your kid, right? You think, well, I'm just 20 minutes up to the bus stop, 20 minutes back. But it's like, no, you just lost 30 minutes of productivity plus the 20 minutes that it took you to go up and back.
Yeah, by the time you re-engage.
Yes, that's the first thing we do. Now, the second thing that I do is I strip things down to the very basic. Like, I don't care because I've had people like a Lindsay or even Phil, who's actually a big cyclist here in Central Florida. Phil's gone through my program, and they both were already funding $1 million+ a month in volume. And, Lindsay had already been in the industry for like 11 years. But with them, I do what someone did for me when I got into weight training. I was probably college age, like 20, 21, and I really wanted to get into weight training. And I remember the guy's name is Scott, and Scott made me bench the bar. Well, for any dude, like benching the bar, that's what you did like in 6th grade.
I've been doing this for years.
Yeah, I was like, then I was at least already benching like 225 pounds, which like, you're like, that's a big deal. And Scott's like, yeah, but your form sucks. He's like, so
go back to the basics.
I'm going to go back to the bar. And then every week, we're going to add 5 pounds, right? And eventually, when Scott was done with me, my bench press got up to 305 pounds and eventually 365 pounds. But it wasn't at that time. So Scott had to take me down to the bar. So when you get into week 2 in my program, we're going to get down to the basics, and I'm going to make you dominate the ones. And I teach you dominating the ones is simply breaking your schedule, your task, your activity down to 5 things you have to do 1 time a day, just 5. So I need you to talk to 1 person a day who needs or wants a home loan. I don't care how you do it. Like if you want to go,
done.
Just get it done. I don't care if you go to the Home Depot, hang out by the damn hot dog stand, and every person who walks past that hot dog stand, you say, hi, my name is Laura. I do loans for a living. How can I help you? Now, Home Depot may trespass you. Don't worry, there's a Lowe's right down the road, right?
Plenty of opportunity.
And Lowe's also has a hot dog stand, and you can do the same exact thing there. But it's like, if you wanted it bad enough, that's what you would do.
You're going to go out and look for it.
Yep, so you're going to do that. I want you to schedule an appointment every single day with someone who can refer you consistently. For us, that's realtors, that's home builders and financial advisors, people like that, divorce attorneys, etc. I want you to go on a meeting.
Divorce attorneys. I never thought of that one.
Well, think
you
about
get
it.
divorced now that you need a second. Now you need a second home.
If you got divorced right now, y'all have like 12 or 14 properties that are your assets. They have to be divided.
Yep.
Right. So how are you going to do that? Right. So a lot of people, when they're going through divorce, you're selling 1 house and buying 2. So yes, working with divorce attorneys, and if you're not selling 1 house and buying 2. You're having to refinance, pull equity out.
You're still going to need a mortgage loan.
Yeah, because Juan wants his equity. You may get to keep the condo,
Sucker,
but
I'm keeping them all.
Yeah, correct, right? So yeah, those are good referral sources. But I want you to go. So schedule a meeting, go on a meeting. Then I just want you doing 2 more things. I want you to show gratitude daily. So you're writing a handwritten thank you note. Yes, I said handwritten thank you note. If you want to push against me, fine. Then go ahead and record a video and text it to somebody. Whether you do that through LinkedIn or do that through your messenger, I don't care.
That goes such a long way, though.
Yes, handwritten thank you notes still, yes.
Well, I say even more now than before because it's less and less common every day. And, I mean, I get excited when I get to my post office that we barely ever, mailbox that we ever rarely check because you don't get stuff anymore. Mm-hmm. Everything's electronic, so usually it's just junk in there.
It's mostly junk. Yeah. Oh, so you're saying you get excited?
Yeah, I get excited if I get there
and
there's like you see the envelope with the handwritten address on there, and you're like, who thought of me?
Yeah. So then the last thing we're dominating the ones is I want you doing an annual mortgage review for somebody every single day. That's easier said than done. If you're someone who has 5 or 10 years experience in the industry, doing an annual mortgage review is easy because you have past clients. If you're someone who's newer to the industry, like Laura, if you joined the mortgage industry next month and you went through this launch bootcamp, then I'm going to tell you need to offer an annual mortgage review to your circle of influence, right? That's where you look at.
That's where you start out.
Yep. It's like, what's their home worth? Where are they in life, right? Like from a financial standpoint, how much do they owe on their mortgage? What's their interest rate? What's their payment? And does it make sense for them to get a new home loan? Yes or no? 7 times out of 10, the answer is no. 3 times out of 10, the answer is
but
yes.
But those are the 3 you're looking for.
Yes, that's the 3 you're looking for. Game. And more importantly, what you're also looking for are life events. You're looking for that person who's getting divorced, who's getting job transferred, who wants to buy their dream lake home or their mountain home or their beach condo. Yeah, it just
depends on what part of life they're in.
Yeah.
What stage in life.
But you start by offering a service and offering value in hopes that you uncover opportunity. So that's typically what we're covering in week 2. Plus, I'm prescribing the 12-week challenge. And we don't have time to get into the 12-week challenge. Here's what I can tell you. If you go to our YouTube channel, I have covered the 12-week challenge at least twice, if not 3 times. So go to the Launcher Podcast on YouTube. I think we're at T-Lop Entertainment. And when you get to our page, type in 12-week challenge, and you can learn all about the 12-week challenge. But the 12-week challenge is what I personally did to launch my career. It's also what I personally did to bounce back when I basically went through a breakup with one of my best referral sources, and I went from funding like 144 units a year down to about 100 a year, and I wanted to get that back up to closer to 140, 150. I had to go through the 12-week challenge. It's just a good
reset.
It's a great reset, or for someone who's getting started, it's the shot in the ass that you need in order to kind of build that foundation. Now, the third call, it's all about scripting and role playing, right? We have to record what we do. We have to go back and watch it. And we have to understand that the words we use are just as powerful, if not more powerful, than the actions we take. So it's one thing to know what to do. It's another thing to know how to do it and why it's important. So it's important to me when I'm coaching someone that we spend time doing some role play, as well as sharing the best scripts. Like, how do I get that realtor to pick up my phone call? When I'm on the meeting, what do I say to the agent? How do I follow up?
Well, and getting comfortable, because so much of it is how you carry a conversation as to the route that it's going to take.
Correct, 100%. So that would be call 3. Now, call 4 is my favorite. If you're ever going to see me cry, it's during this particular session.
Oh, let's hear it.
And I learned this from my buddy Rene Rodriguez 15 years ago, but it's understanding that we all have a signature story, right? Simon Sinek calls it your why. Like, Why do you do what you do? How do you do it? And why is this important to the community you serve? So I will walk someone through their signature story. So if I were to do you, would you play along with me for a second?
Let's play.
All right, let's do this real quick. So the first thing I would start with is like, okay, Laura, tell me a little bit about like why you're in the mortgage industry. And you would tell me, well, I got in the mortgage industry because X, Y, and Z. Okay, cool. And I'd be like, what did you do before the mortgage industry? And you would tell me that before the mortgage industry, you owned your own travel agency. And before that, you ran an architectural firm, right?
Civil engineering.
Civil engineering firm. I always fuck that up. Okay. And you'd probably correct me. But then I would really start asking, hey, what was it like growing up? And then I'd say, did your parents own a home? And then I would ask you, like, ready? What was it like growing up? Like, how would you describe, in 20 words or less, how would you describe your childhood to a stranger? What if one trip could elevate your personal brand for the entire year? On April 14th and 15th, our friends over at First Home IQ are taking loan officers to Washington, D.C. for the MBA's National Advocacy Conference, which happens to be my favorite event of the year. But let's be clear, this is not about politics. This is about an opportunity for leadership and visibility. Only 1 in 8 next-gen buyers trust loan officers, and 6 out of every 10 feel the housing system is rigged against them. Building trust happens locally in how you show up, educate, and listen. But it only happens nationally when you show your market that you're on the Hill advocating for policies that protect them. Here's the game plan. Weeks before going to DC, you're going to be creating content. The content's going to be about why you're going, why affordability matters in your market, why first-time home buyers need better solutions. Now, when you're in DC, First Home IQ is going to be bringing in a professional video and social media team. You're going to walk away with video reels, behind-the-scenes content from Capitol Hill, direct-to-camera footage, content that positions you as a trusted housing leader in your state and local community. And here's the strategy. Most LOs talk about affordability. Very few show up on Capitol Hill to fight for it. When your referral partners see you advocating face-to-face with lawmakers, that signals leadership. Consumers trust individual professionals more than institutions. The mission is clear. This is a pivotal year for home affordability. It's a pivotal year for First Home IQ's mission, and it's the 250th birthday of America. We're aiming for LOs from every state advocating together for housing affordability and sustainable home ownership. You'll meet lawmakers. You'll learn how policy works. First Home IQ is going to give you the talking points. You'll know exactly what to say and why it matters. The visibility you create before, during, and after DC will reach your local market in a way no ad ever could. Washington needs more LOs in the room. Your state needs representation. Your borrowers need advocates. And your personal brand deserves elevation. This is a movement. This is your chance to sign up. Join hundreds of mortgage professionals. March on Capitol Hill. Go to Washington, D.C. Make sure your voice is heard, and here's how you do it. All you need to do is go to www.firsthomeIQ.com/MBA Advocacy. That is firsthomeIQ.com/MBA ADVOCACY.
Very family oriented. Mom was always at home, stay-at-home mom. Dad coming home in the evenings after a long day of work, very present. Sharing a room with my sister, but then getting my own room was exciting.
And did you get your own room because your parents moved?
We upgraded
You
our
upgraded?
house, yeah.
Okay. And did you upgrade your house because your dad's career was starting to take off?
He was moving along, yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, you saw him get a nicer company car and all that. So even though I was very young, you still have those, those visions, those...
So your parents owned the homes that you lived in, and you lived in 2 homes growing up, or how many homes did you live in?
That I remember, and yes,
Yeah.
like childhood homes too.
Okay.
And I remember the big thing you said, like, what do you envision, was getting that going from like sharing a room with my sister to getting my own room.
Okay. When you think of owning a home, did you and your husband make home ownership a priority when you got married?
We bought a home before we got married. That's how important it was.
Yeah. And then why was that important to you all? Like, was that something that was taught to you, or something that you learned on your own?
I don't think it was taught to us, just more of because of Juan's background in real estate and in owning, acquiring properties early on.
Okay. So your husband has a keen interest in real estate.
Correct.
Right. So then, and we don't have time for this whole exercise, but then I would start digging into Juan's background. And luckily, because I'm friends with both Laura and her husband, Juan, I know a little bit of it, right? Like Juan read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And,
huge impact on him.
And Juan grew up wanting to acquire wealth and wanting to be wealthy. And at an early age, started seeking information on how he could become wealthy on his own.
Correct.
Right. So he had that. I'd probably get into were your parents born here? Did your parents own? And I'd find out that your parents were born in Colombia and you were born in Colombia and you all immigrated. But inside of all of that, there's your own story. And by the way, everyone's story is different.
Different. Oh, yeah.
Right? Like some people, for them, home ownership is something that they never thought was possible. And when they finally found it and found out how to achieve it, they're making their life's mission to make sure other people have the same opportunity that they have.
It opened a door for them.
Yeah. But whereas, for you, it may be like, no, I had an amazing childhood. And, when I look back on it, home ownership was a big piece of it. But because of how I was raised and because of the person that I married, we have seen the power of home ownership And I do what I do now because I want to help more people do what I've been able to do because it is possible. Right. And it's amazing when you start doing this, you start peeling back the layers of everyone's onion. We all have our own signature story. And there's some of them, like when you start getting people to be vulnerable with you and you realize that this person comes from a place of poverty or a place of hurt or injury, but something pivotal happened in their life and it was around home ownership or the home or becoming financially stable. It's like, there's your story.
Yeah, I mean, you hear, I'm sure you see it in the industry, but you hear of people that grew up from foster care to foster care or from shelter or homeless, and now, owning a home wasn't a normal thing for them. And
correct.
You opening that vision for them changed their whole life.
Yeah, or it was, here, I'll throw Todd. Todd was one of the first rookies I ever hired. And I see Todd at least twice a week, every single week still today. And for Todd, he lost his home to a short sale after the financial crisis. So in 2008, 2009. And Todd had a terrible realtor and a terrible loan officer in his memory. And Todd said, I never want anyone else to feel that way again about the home buying process. So part of his home buying process is, part of his signature story is I didn't have a great realtor. I didn't
somebody
have
to truly educate him and show him the way.
So now he's that loan officer that knows what it's like. So anyhow, we all have a signature story. So if you're trying to do this course on your own, which is what this episode is supposed to be about, then you have to dig deep and figure out what's your why. Why do you do what you do? And then your why should be, this is how you do it, but more specifically, how you make people feel and what they learn by you being their mortgage broker or their loan officer. The fifth call, we're going to jump into online networking, AKA social media.
So important nowadays.
Yes, I can't stress this enough. It's not new. It's been around for damn near 20 years. And it's the easiest way to expand your network, right? If your net worth is the sum of your network, right? So he or she with the most friends wins. Your job is to be the most known, right? The most thought about. It's way easier for me to do this online than it is in person. No, sure, I can.
Well, your reach is,
yes.
You can't meet with everybody that you could chat with in a day or set up a potential meeting with or a call, but you can reach them in that short amount of time.
The one to many is through the roof, right? It's one of me to many of you. Even if it's only 30 people who saw my post, I got to have 30 people see what I do or what I'm talking about by spending 20 or 30 minutes creating a post and getting it up there. But like, I look at it as going to a Chamber of Commerce meeting, a BNI group, a Women's Council of Realtors, an association, luncheon, like whatever the case may be. Like, those work for expanding your network, but they cost me money. I have to drive across town. I have to get dressed up. I have to do all these things that I don't have to do on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. So it's important to me that loan originators are actively selling themselves through their social channels, or what I call online networking. The sixth class that we teach, honestly, it's class choice. It's my favorite. It's my favorite.
It's up to the students.
Yeah, it's like a little potpourri. It's like, hey, we're almost halfway through. What is it that you want to circle back on, or what is it that you want to dive deeper into, or maybe something that I didn't specifically put on the agenda, but the class comes together and they pick their own.
And let me ask you this. So everybody's in this class together. You're all going through the weeks together. Mm-hmm. So you're building a community within your course already.
Yeah, so it's funny. I could have paid you to actually ask this question, but I didn't. True story, I did not. Yes, what people fail to really recognize, it's the friendships and the camaraderie that are going to last you your entire career, right? Like, Ben just had a baby. Well, he didn't. His wife, Gabby, did. Okay,
Yeah,
Ben lives.
That would be complicated.
Ben lives in Boston, and Amanda is in Alaska. But you know who one of the first people to congratulate Ben and Gabby? It was Amanda. I don't think Ben and Amanda have ever met in person or in real life, only via Zoom calls
On all your classes.
and on all of our text threads, right? But she was equally as excited for Ben having his first baby because, like, she remembers when she had her first kid. And they had this bond that they shared, no different than, like, not no different, way different, but maybe similar to someone who goes through anything else, whether it's a study abroad program or even like real boot camp with the military.
Yeah.
So class choice, they come together, they get to pick. And it's my favorite way to teach because I know then that those 10 or those 20 or those 30 originators are getting exactly what they wanted. And it's just a great way for us to go down some rabbit holes and spiral a little bit before we jump back onto the prescribed treatment. So prescribed treatment.
I like that.
Yes, it's a prescribed treatment.
Doctor's orders.
Yes, like, hey, I know this works. I have the proof. I've been doing it for a while. Sit back, enjoy. But more specifically, like, do your homework. Like, do your homework. Because I give them homework after at least 3/4 of every single call. I mean, they're reading the book. They're doing the 12-week challenge. They're tracking their time for 30 days. Well, they have to stay engaged.
If not, it's like anything else. You get out of it what you put into it, right?
Correct. So I go and teach them how to use products to get their foot in the door. So I have learned throughout my career that we use certain products as a way to get someone to meet with me, as a way to teach a realtor, if you take this product and you market it, you're going to generate more interest in home ownership. And that's my main goal as a loan officer. So I need to get meetings. I need to bring value. And I need a reason to do so. So I leverage products. Too many times LOs try to sell products. I'm like, no, we're not selling products. We're selling ourselves.
Use it to your advantage.
Yeah, we're selling ourselves. We're building relationships. Use a product to get someone to meet with you. Like I could say, hey, Laura, I have a product that I'm currently marketing to real estate investors. And I'm curious, are you working with real estate investors right now? And if not, did you know that they're 1/3 of the market, right? You're a real estate agent. You're like, well, I'm not working with realtors. I'm like, would you like to grab coffee? And I'd like to show you how I'm using this product to attract more real estate investors.
Now you got my attention.
Now I have your attention. Now, what is it? Y'all, it's my no income required investor loan, AKA a DSCR loan. I'm not calling it DSCR. Do you know what DSCR is?
No.
No, you're a real estate investor too. You own rental properties.
And I have no idea what it is.
Yeah. DS, debt service coverage ratio.
Okay.
It's a certain loan product where you use the rent on the property to qualify. To qualify.
Oh, to qualify.
To qualify.
Okay.
So I don't need your income. I don't need your husband's income. I just need to know, is the rent going to cover the mortgage payment? Right? That's what a DSCR loan is. Too many LOs are constantly going around talking about, I got DSCR. I'm like, stop calling it that. No one knows what it means. But let's talk about what it does, right? Well, what it does is it helps realtors attract more investors. And what it does for investors, it lets them qualify not using their personal income, right? So that's how I would use a product to help a loan originator get their foot in the door with real estate agents who they ultimately just want to build a relationship with. So like that's a whole entire class in itself. And we talk DSCR, we talk bank statement loans, we talk down payment assistance loans, we talk reverse mortgages. Like I let the class each bring one product
that they want to learn more about.
Yeah, and then we kind of mastermind, well, how can I take this product, call it what it is, not what I call it internally, and then use that product to get in front of more referral sources.
But I think people value that though, because they see that you're bringing, you're bringing knowledge to them. There's mutual interest, and that makes the meeting so much more productive too.
They 100% value it. Yes, and honestly, it's the one way to get in front of them. Karina, you're showing me up some gang signs. Are you telling me we have to take a quick pause?
I was just telling you we're at the 30-minute mark.
Oh, we're at the 30-minute mark right now. Okay, so that's like a little wink, wink, nod, nod. Hey, do you find a way to wrap this up in 5 minutes or less?
No rush. I'm just, just want you to be aware at the time.
All right. Hey, I appreciate that. Look, good looking out. Well, let's look at what's on my list. So, the 7th step would have been, if this was a 12-step process, how to leverage products to open doors and generate leads. Step number 8 is leveraging events. So as a top producing operator, right, mortgage broker, loan officer, whatever you are, I have practiced and I have learned and I have seen other people just absolutely execute at a high level. When you start leveraging events as a way to promote your brand. For us, it's lunch and learns and happy hours. So I coach loan officers that every single month you should be hosting an event. And for us, it's typically let's do a lunch and learn where we invite a bunch of realtors in, or a happy hour. And our happy hour is typically for our referral networks, that's realtors and builders and financial advisors that are invited to this, where we can just kind of show gratitude, celebrate a good quarter, celebrate a good month, wherever the case may be. But where so many people don't understand the logic or the rationale, it's this. You do events because it gives you a reason to invite people. You do events because it gives you a reason.
Puts you in front of them.
It puts me in front of them, but it's like, I just need a reason to touch you. I need a reason to reach out to you.
Be careful, you can't say that.
I can say whatever I want. It's my damn show. I appreciate that. But yes, I meant touch in the metaphorical stance, not maybe the physical stance, unless it's shake your hand or if you give me permission to hug. Sometimes it's a side hug and not a full-on hug, but hey, whatever floats
You'll
your
take
boat,
it.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm a hugger, so feel free to give me a hug. I hugged this lady. Shout out to Town Bank. I hugged this lady at a recent event where they brought me into Virginia, and I got to be a part of their awesome annual conference. And I met her for the first time in real life, and I gave her a hug, and I was like, crap, what if she's not a hugger? Like,
Did you think about that for hours?
Well, I've gotten to know her so well through prep and getting on calls. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
You're excited.
And then I hug her. I'm like, yeah, she doesn't know me. Yeah, she has no idea who I am.
She's like that creepy bald man.
Yeah, but anyhow, shout out to Shirley at Town Bank Mortgage up in Virginia.
If you're a licensed originator who's closing loans, but you're not consistent, this is for you. If you're brand new or just looking for motivation, trust me, this is not for you. Most LOs don't need more information. They need structure. They need proven processes and somebody to hold them accountable. T-Lob's Originator Coaching gives you weekly live coaching, scripts top producers actually use, and step-by-step business systems you can implement immediately. Not someday, we're talking day one. You're not watching videos alone. You're executing in real time with other originators who take this seriously. Right now, you can try it free for 2 weeks. That's 2 full weeks for free. You'll sit in on live coaching calls. You'll get access to the frameworks and see exactly how top producers run their business. If it creates clarity, if it creates momentum, or even if it puts wins on the board, you keep going. If it doesn't, no worries, you can cancel. No pressure at all. Click the link, start the 2-week trial, and finally, build this like a business, not a side hustle.
No, but I think I actually got an email back from a vendor I'm working with. I haven't worked with them before. And she sent me an email right after our call. And granted, this is a call. And she said, thank you for picking up the phone and calling me. And it's like, because of technology, we're losing more. That thank you note, that call, that getting in front of people, it makes a difference.
100% it does. Yeah. So it is nice to get FaceTime with anybody. But honestly, I do events because I need a reason to reach out to the people that I'm marketing to and offer them something of value. And if they say no, fine. But you know what?
On to the next one.
I'm top of mind. Like, they now are remembering, oh yeah, that guy's still around. That guy does loans for a living. And after I do the event, it gives me a reason to follow up with everybody who attended and didn't attend. So if I taught a lunch and learn, look, my lunch and learn has to be good. It doesn't have to be great. But my follow-up game has to be great. Because then I can say, hey, Laura, we missed you. It's such a great time. Hey, I have the notes. If you'd like to grab coffee or hop on a Zoom, I'll walk you through.
It gives you a second opportunity to follow up.
Yes. Yeah. So we talk about the power of leveraging events as a part of this like 12-step process. We then start getting into mastering lead conversion. If you notice, there's a bit of a story arc going on. We weren't talking about lead conversion early on because in the beginning, I'm like, I need you creating good habits. I need you getting out there and meeting with potential referral sources.
Well, you're building a strong foundation.
Yes.
Because in any type of sales job, because a lot of the things you're selling resonates with my growth as an entrepreneur. I'm a salesperson at the end of the day, right? Like, I'm creating experiences, but I'm selling something. And a lot of the things you're saying, even though it's not the mortgage industry, are just standard entrepreneurial basics.
Laura came in today having no idea what we were talking about. I promise.
It's always a curveball.
And I like it that way, right? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of been the T-Lop way for the past 5 going on 6 years. But you just said the way I sell the program. I'm like, look, even if you get out of the mortgage industry and you go do something else, I promise you this course will stick with you for a lifetime because it's teaching you how to run an operation, how to run a business. Yes, it's very mortgage specific. However, the underlying principles.
Some of these techniques and strategies and even getting comfortable speaking with people, like for you and I, that's not a problem, right? Mm-hmm. But for other personality types, that in itself is like maybe the reason why they're not joining the industry whether it's the mortgage industry or just the realtor industry, a travel agent, any kind of salesperson, software sales for all I care. They're scared to talk to people. That's
Yes.
so common.
Yep. So I teach lead conversion towards the end because I basically tell people in the beginning, you don't have enough leads. Like in the beginning, you don't have enough leads for me to actually teach you lead conversion. However, once you started getting enough leads, learning lead conversion, sometimes it's not about you need more leads. It's like you just have to convert at a higher percentage. And we talk about what are some tactics and some skills that you have to deploy in order to convert leads at a higher percentage. Let's say you're getting 20 leads a month already, but if you go from a 15% lead conversion to a 20% lead conversion, that's one extra closing. Well, that's an extra $40,000 a year in income, not because you generated more leads, just because you got better.
You were more efficient with the leads you had.
Yes, at converting them. Once you've mastered lead conversion, now we start piecing everything together. This is when I finally start teaching the Originator's Blueprint for Success. This is your daily, weekly, monthly routine. And everything needs to be scripted out. And it's funny, I use our triathlon training as like an example of the importance of things being scripted, right? What's today? Today's Tuesday. I'm going to guess, I've not talked to Laura about this, Karina. I'm going to guess she probably cycled today.
That's right.
And she didn't cycle outside. She probably cycled on her trainer.
That's right.
Yeah, because she probably swam on Monday. She's probably going to run tomorrow, right?
With
like,
you.
Yes. Like,
You better be there. You have a race coming up.
I'll be there. But like we have a set routine. You talk to a garbage collector. My garbage collector doesn't just willy-nilly show up in my neighborhood and say, I think I'm going to grab Dustin's recycling today.
No, it's every Tuesday or every whatever day is designated.
Yes, school teachers don't just show up, especially elementary school, and saying, I think today I'm going to teach social studies. Like, no, you teach social studies on Tuesday and Thursday. Today is Wednesday. You have to teach math and science, right? Or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So as originators,
Game plan.
We need to have a game plan. We need to have what do we do Monday through Friday? What do we track? Why is it important? So I actually take everything that I've taught them and we put it into their daily, weekly, monthly success tracker. So that's very important to anyone who's looking to be successful. And then by the time we get towards the end, we're on sessions 11 and 12 or steps 11 and 12. Step 11 is business planning, right? This is where we sit down and actually formulate a plan to either finish that year strong or, depending on the timing, it may be to dominate the year that's coming up. So business planning is something you have to do at a minimum once a year. I like it twice a year. I think you should do your business plan in December. You should review it in like June and make adjustments.
Yeah, it gives you a good idea of where you're at and what needs to improve or what you need to shift around.
Correct. And so many people do business hoping. And I'm not a big business hoper. Like I'm like, no, we're going to set goals and then we're going to work backwards and come up with the small, digestible, trackable activities that if you just did those activities every single day, you got 1% better per day, just like James Clear teaches in his book. We circled back to the book. Now, all of a sudden, you have your daily, weekly, monthly success tracker. You have your business plan. Step 12, celebrate. Graduation, have a good time. And I always leave the class with a parting gift. I have this thing called the referral account pyramid. And it's actually the referral partner account pyramid. And as I look at my referral sources as if they were like on a pyramid or like a Pavlov, the hierarchy of needs. The hierarchy of needs, yep. And I think we all should have varying levels of referral partners. We have our true partners, right? Men and women that we're like in business with, we're doing life with. They probably give us a lead a week. We're closing 4, 6, 12 transactions a year.
They need to be at the top of that pyramid.
Yeah, you're only going to get, if you're lucky, a handful. If you're lucky. Then you have a step below that, or maybe you have a dozen that you're like, you know what, we do 3 or 4 transactions a year, but maybe they're just not that big of a producer themselves, so they don't have that much to refer. Most people, onesie twosies. So you have more of them, and at the bottom of your pyramid, you should have your targets, men and women you don't know that you want to get to know, but they're at the bottom because you don't know them and they don't know you. So that's typically a parting gift that I give everyone. These are all things that you can do on your own. You can source on your own, or, you know, if you joined our coaching community, you could probably piecemeal this entire course together. Or heck, if you just got really lost on our YouTube channel, you could you could piecemeal it, or you could look at signing up your entire company to put 30 or 40 originators through this program, or you yourself, an individual, can go to our website, tloponline.com, and you can see if you're going to be a good fit for our next Originator launch class. Fill out an inquiry. You'll probably talk to Blake or Mark on my team, and they can help you walk through whether or not this makes sense for you.
I'm excited, and I'm not even in the industry.
I did my job then. I did my job.
I'm intrigued. I want more.
Yeah, so we promised the people at the very beginning, I wanted to ask you 2 questions, and we'll find a way to wrap this up. What's going on with the TLOP cruise? Where do we sit? Are we ready to start selling?
Yes, so we have everything set aside. It's going to be a great week. Events are starting to get finalized. I don't want to give too many details because then Dustin gets excited.
So, but remind people of the dates.
So September 14th, we're leaving out of Port Canaveral here close to Orlando, Florida.
So they'll have to fly into Orlando.
Correct.
Okay.
Fly into Orlando. We'll discuss logistics and details as to getting to the port. It's very easy to get to. It's very accessible. And from there, we'll be departing. That's a Monday. And get ready for.
And if I have it my way, we're going to do a bon voyage like party that Monday.
There will be a welcome event.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
okay.
You're right. And we'll be spending 4 days. 3 of those days will be full-on engagement, lots of events for all of you, whether that's breakout sessions or full conference days. And then throughout that week, we'll get a little bit of a break at Coco K. That will be the chill day, more of that Step 12 celebrate day per se to tie that into the event. And Friday morning, you're back on land.
Yeah, so we're going to get you home by Friday so you can get to the office, or you can fly home so you won't miss anything happening.
The ship gets back. Usually you can start getting off around 8 a.m., sometimes earlier, depending on when customs clears the boat.
Yeah, so the goal would be...
You can catch an early flight home.
Yeah, allow most people to get home by dinner Friday night, but we're going to need you on the boat by noon on Monday. We only have 100 cabins reserved right now. I have a feeling the minute we get this launched, like half of them are going to get probably snatched up really quick. And as I said earlier, we have some room for sponsorship, but not a whole lot. We've already sold out our premier sponsorship and 2 of our mid-level sponsorships, and I didn't want to have that many sponsors, so we only have a handful left. So we look forward to it. Laura's the professional behind the scenes that's helping make it happen. Steven on the TLOP crew is working hand in hand with her. And we're excited to do our first ever real TLOP event. We're happy.
Don't miss the inaugural.
Yeah, do not miss the inaugural. Y'all, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. She's Zulu. I'm Dio. This is Special K. You've just tuned into an episode of the Lone Officer Podcast. That's all the time we have for you today, but we do look forward to catching you on the next episode.
Till next time.